Yes, so you just had to tighten that bolt a little bit more and you've stripped it. I'm afraid I did the same thing, or at least the previous owner of my KTM300 did, and I'm going to show you some fixes for this. So you've stripped your oil indicator bolt thread on your KTM300 or similar bike, and you need to fix it. So what you can do is go to the next size up, which is Imperial 1/4 inch. There, the standard size is M6, and 1/4 inch is actually 6.35 millimeters. So that will work. It will, however, most likely strip out after a fairly short time, and then you'll have to put in a helicoil type insert, which is what I'm going to go through with you now. So what I have here is a helicoil type insert kit. It comes with the correct size drill bit, a correct size tap to put the thread in, a little tool to drive the insert in, and a little punch to remove the tang when you've put it in. Now I've also got some M6 by 12 millimeter inserts because the kit didn't come with the right length insert that I needed, and you can see there's a little piece that goes across the top of the insert. Now that's called the tang, and it breaks off when you have installed it. This driver fits in and engages with the tang so that you can turn it and screw it in into the thread, and I suggest you also use some Loctite. So these thread inserts do also come with varying wall thicknesses. I chose one with the thinnest wall thickness I could find, basically because that meant that I would drill less of the material out of my engine casing in order to install it. So when you're going to drill a hole through the engine casing of your bike, you obviously don't want to drill in too far and damage any of the internals. So the screw that goes in there at the factory is 12 millimeters long. So what I would suggest is measure 12 millimeters back and put a little piece of tape on your drill bit, so that when you do the hole for the thread insert, you don't go in any further than is absolutely necessary. When you drill a hole, also just go gently so that you allow the drill bit to follow the existing hole. All you're really trying to do is shave out a tiny amount of the material, which is basically the old thread, out of that hole. You don't want to go in skew, and when you tap the hole to put the thread in, you need to have something to attach to the end here, maybe a vice grip, small vice grip or something like that, but again this needs to go in straight, so just proceed with caution. So before installing the insert, what I have done is attached a piece of braided fishing line. So I've tied a knot on the tang, which again is that piece that's going to break off, with a tiny dot of super glue to glue that braided line to the tang, which is going to break off. That line is then going to come out through the middle of the insert, so it's not going to interfere with the threading at all. We can just get our insertion tool in like that, screw it in after we've cut the thread with the tap, and obviously we don't want that falling inside the gearbox because that material is going to be quite hard, and we can fish it out with the braided fishing line, which is quite strong. So I've got it on the end of the little driver. I'm going to apply some Loctite to make sure that it stays in place, just as an extra precaution, and then I'm going to screw it in. Right, that's done. Now for the real test, see whether we can fish it out again. Here we go. There it is. Awesome. Now I'll drain the oil and put new gearbox oil in, and we're done.